Welcome to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce. Each month, we'll feature business and community leaders sharing their stories, initiatives, concerns, and passions. Learn practical information regarding community resources and opportunities. Now, the host of Business Voice, Greece Regional Chamber President and CEO, Sarah Lentini.
Hey everybody, you're listening to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce, sponsored by Bartolomeo and Perotto Funeral Home. I'm Sarah Lentini, your host, and also the president and CEO of the Greece Regional Chamber. And we're doing something a little different here today. I'm delighted to have a co-host on with me, the inimitable Bob Savage, who is not only the owner of WYSL, but also a wonderful radio personality and radio host in his own right. Thank you, Bob, for doing this. He's going to be taking over for the first two interviews. I'm going to be stepping in for the last two, and so it's now my great pleasure to turn over the hosting duties to Bob Savage. Welcome, Bob.
We have a feature that we've invented today for the occasion called Business Voice Backgrounder. And our next guest is Dave Perotto of Bartolomeo and Perotto Funeral Home Incorporated in Greece. The home location, I guess you'd call it, is on Vintage Lane in Greece. Dave, thanks so much for being on the program today.
You're most welcome. Thank you for having us on.
Absolutely. So this might be a little bit of a misnomer saying Bartolomeo and Perotto Funeral Home because you're actually more than one location, aren't you?
Yeah, we also own Walker Brothers Funeral Home, so it's actually three locations that we have for the west side of Rochester.
Where are the Walker locations?
One in Spencerport in the village and the village of Churchville as well.
Oh, okay. All right, great. So give us the history of Bartolomeo and Perotto. How old an organization are you? How long have you been in the community?
Well, next year will be 100 years, which is something we're real proud of. And as we approach that, it's something we're going to kind of celebrate next year. That we're the third generation, and the community really has supported us for all these years and made us successful.
So what are the major changes that have affected your business over the everything, of course, is always changing, evolving. Things are getting they're moving to new areas. What are the big changes that have affected the funeral home industry?
The most recent thing is actually service of food in the funeral home, which the state changed the law 3 years ago. And we were happy to start doing that, and then COVID hit, and after 1 year of serving food, we had to stop doing it again with the new rules. But they've allowed us back to normal again, and we're back to serving food as a secondary thing that we do here.
So you say you're serving food. Do you actually have a kitchen there? And is it like a catered kind of thing, or how does that work?
You're right. All catered. We can't serve food. We can't heater or cool food. It has to be brought right in from a caterer. And we just have the space for people so they can have a lunch. It could be something informal like sub trays or right on up to a sit-down full meal. Okay,
so these celebrations of life can literally become that.
Correct. Yeah, a lot of people like to have, that gathering with food. When families come together, one of the things you do a lot of times is have food. So that's kind of why that kind of finally changed for us in New York.
Interesting. Has that been a trend in other states prior to this?
Yeah, we were one of 5 states that couldn't do it, and now they got it down to I think just 3 or 4 that are left that still prohibit that.
So, what about support services for folks? Of course, are not at their best when they're in a state of mourning and when they've lost a loved one. Talk about the process. You kind of have to get into a psychological spot, I would think, where you can be the support that people need to get through this time and to provide the services. What are some of the big challenges that you face in doing that?
Well, to me, it's like a pre-service and post-service thing. So the pre-service, just letting people know that the one universal need we think is that there's a need to gather when someone passes. So the funeral home is just a creative space to do that. Having food now is one more thing we can do, but having funeral ceremonies where everybody comes together to celebrate that person's life and honor their legacy. And then so that's phase 1, and then phase 2 is the follow-up stuff, and that's where we try to be a little more proactive than a lot of firms.
Any other changes in the funeral home industry that are affecting your business these days?
Big shortage of staff. It's everywhere. It even hit us. So the licensed funeral directors just aren't available. More people retiring than going into it, and I think COVID forced more people into retirement. And the few that are available have been hired pretty quickly. So just like every other industry, we're kind of facing that.
I know going back 20 years now really is when it really hit our industry. The radio industry, of course, consolidated, where you had the big fish eating the medium-sized fish, eating the small fish, with fewer and fewer competitors. Has that thing kind of gone on in the funeral home industry?
Not as much in Western New York, but more like in big cities like New York City. You've seen that, but maybe that'll happen someday in the smaller communities. But so far, that hasn't really been too common in our area.
Do you cremate at your facility?
No, New York state law doesn't let us, so we have to hire a crematory, so we kind of facilitate all the paperwork, obviously picking somebody up and following through with the cremation at a third-party retort, where we use Mount Hope Cemetery, and we hire them to do that part of it, but we definitely support families in having it the fact that they can follow along and be there for that cremation process, so it's kind of a transparent process that we offer.
Dave Perotto is with us here on Business Voice on the WYSL stations. Bob Savage in for Sarah Lentini as we do a business backgrounder. Now, I know this question, Dave, is going to sound a little bit like, how much does it cost to go out and buy a new car? But of course, the question is, it all depends on what you want to buy and how much you want to spend.
Correct.
Well, what's the average cost of a funeral, of a family funeral?
Well, our prices, the least expensive funeral would be $12.95, and that's a cremation only. And, some families will spend anywhere from, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, but it's all dependent upon things you choose. So, when you have a full burial with, like a casket and a concrete enclosure and all the other services, it can be, between 10 and 15, but that could also be $12.95. So it's really kind of dependent upon how many services people choose.
Do you have any particular accommodations for veterans?
Yeah, we give them a small discount. We certainly, obviously honor veterans here. And one of the nice things, which is new, which really isn't us, but it's the government, put up the new National Cemetery in Corfu. And a lot of our families are taking advantage of that, where they can get a free burial space and marker out there at the cemetery in Corfu. And so far we've been there probably a good 7 or 8 times, and it's only been open for about 10 months.
Tell us about the process, the services, the ancillary services, if you will, that you provide. Like, for example, I know some funeral directors take care of the notices in the newspaper, making sure that the tribute or I don't know what you call it, eulogy or whatever for the departed one is accurately reproduced in the newspaper, maybe prayer cards, all those ancillary things. Do you have? I assume you have a checklist, if you will, a menu of things that you can do to aid in the process of planning the funeral.
We have what we call a life story process. So it begins just with that. It's a biography of the person. And as a matter of fact, just a month ago, we were all trained by somebody in obituary writing. And so you have the paid paper version. You have the more extensive version with a full biography on our website. And then we take it a step further. We say, okay, those stories, are they in pictures? Are they in linking objects such as a fishing pole or something that they did as a hobby? So we make sure that's part of the services, where we have photos and linking objects back to that person's life, so that you have those things that kind of, remember not just in words, but also in visuals of what the person was all about.
Is there a big difference in facilities between the mothership there at Vintage Lane at Bartolomeo and Perotto and the Walker facilities? Are those just smaller facilities?
Yeah, I mean, Bartolomeo was built for larger services. Certainly when we have, dignitaries or, we have first responders or young people, you're going to get a bigger crowd. So Vintage Lane was built to accommodate large services. Most funeral homes can't accommodate that same level. Even Walker Brothers cannot do what Bartolomeo can do. But everybody, people have to, think about what they need, what the needs are, and then align themselves with a funeral home that, fits their needs.
So how do you reach that budgetary figure? You just kind of counsel with the family and find out what they want to spend, and then you let them know what's available, what can be done for that price?
Right, and having both funeral homes, we can give them 2 price options. Obviously, the bigger firm costs more to be at versus a smaller facility has lower overhead. So we can sit with people and they can show them both prices, and they can sit there and decide what fits best for their needs.
Any expansion plans for Bartolomeo and Perotto at this point?
We're just getting through COVID.
It's
been so hard. The regulation changes for the last 2 years have been a challenge, and we've had 100% focus on that, and we hope that we don't have to go backward. With the Delta variant out there, so far we haven't seen, fortunately, too many deaths come with the COVID as it spikes in cases. So far, Delta hasn't seen that same following. Thank the Lord for that. So we kind of got our eye on that. Hopefully, it doesn't go back up with the number of deaths.
Well, I hope this isn't news to you, but there's a third variant that's coming out.
I read about it this morning, and just a little scary. So obviously, we're just trying to keep people safe for now and get through this time period and see what's next.
So, Dave, how does that impact your business? Is it full masking at services and so forth?
At this point, it's optional, so each family has to decide what's best for them. For example, we had a lady recently where her husband died, and she couldn't be vaccinated because of her health, and she wanted to have services, so we made sure everybody had a mask on. We want to keep people safe. And other times we don't, some people just are averse to the mask, so it's each family is making decisions based on the information in front of them.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us here on Business Voice. Anything else you want to tell us about Bartolomeo and Perotto?
Yeah, like we started off, we're pretty proud of being, at year 99 right now, and next year my great aunt and uncle started the funeral home, and that's kind of their legacy, and kind of honor that for the next year.
Great. Well, we wish you well as you head towards that centenary, and thanks so much for talking with us on Business Voice today. Dave Perotto from Bartolomeo and Perotto Funeral Home and Walker Funeral Homes in Greece, Churchville, and Spencerport. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Take care.
Bye-bye.
More to come here on Business Voice on the WYSL stations.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. At Bartolomeo and Perotto Funeral Home, the focus is always on how your loved one lived. Bartolomeo and Perotto has been helping families create meaningful tributes and celebrating unique lives for 3 generations. They treat your family like their own, always with the utmost compassion, warmth, and care. When you're in need, call Bartolomeo and Perotto Funeral Home 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 720-6000.
If you're looking to market and grow your business, make new business connections, and give back to the community in a meaningful way, consider joining the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce. We're the largest suburban chamber in Monroe County, and we offer networking, education, marketing, insurance, and advocacy. You do not need to live or work in Greece to join. Our members come from throughout the region. In short, we're better together, and together, we're moving business forward. Visit greecechamber.org or call 585-227-7272 to join today.
This is what we're made of. The businesses that line our streets and the customers that make them flourish. As a business owner, this is your community, your members, your regulars, your neighbors. Your business is unique, so are your customers. No matter who you need to reach, Spectrum Reach is here to help you connect with the right message on every screen. Visit SpectrumReach.com to connect with a local advertising expert. That's SpectrumReach.com.
Buying a car has never been easier at Ralph Honda. With our online shopper, find the car that's right for you, right from your home. Visit us online to value your trade-in, personalize a payment that fits your budget, chat with a team member, and schedule your pickup. It's that simple. For 3 generations, Ralph Honda.
Get the News 10 NBC First Alert forecast 24 hours on AM 1040 and FM 92.1 and 95.5 West.
On your Business Voice program on the WYSL stations, I'm Bob Savage, lending a helping hand here to Sarah Lentini. Very pleased to have Esmeralda Updegraph with us online, and her operation is called Your CBD Store, and that's located in Spencerport. And I guess there's no confusion about what your store is about with a name like that, right, Esmeralda?
Correct.
So tell us all about your CBD store, where you're located. Tell us the story of your CBD store.
Okay, phenomenal. So we're Your CBD Spencerport. We're located at 409 South Union, right up near the Tim Hortons. And so Your CBD store, Spencerport, came to Spencerport because I've been with this company for over 5 years. Your CBD store, we're actually just transitioning to a franchise affiliate program. We have over 600 stores throughout the U.S. and 4 in the U.K. And I actually fell in love with Spencerport in November. I've been driving around forever with my family looking for a location, and it just so happened that a gym was moving out, and we decided to sign the docs and wait until March. And we got into it knowing that Spencerport is a health and wellness-based community, and I mean that's what we've learned a lot about. That's why it's important to figure out exactly where to open our stores. So for us, CBD means so much more. Education is the number one thing, and that's what our stores stress, is having an educated consumer. A lot of people think these products are illegal. They're completely legal products. And what's really phenomenal is a lot of people don't realize you have a system in your body called the endocannabinoid system. So we produce these cannabinoids. That's what CBD is, one of multiple cannabinoids that we actually naturally produce, but we don't produce either way too much or not enough. So everyone's a little bit different. So it's so important to get educated on the products, whether, you're doing a tincture on a daily basis or a water soluble for super fast reaction to kill like anxiety, or our gummies. So for me, it all started with, I have ADHD and anxiety, and I also have varicose veins in my left arm since birth, and that's extremely rare. So it's like, if anybody knows, if you have varicose veins, it's tons of inflammation on a daily basis. And just for me, my family always came from a different holistic background, so I've always taken tinctures and things of that sort. And once I found my space with your CBD store, Spencerport, or just in general, I knew that this was the product for me because I take it every day. It's USDA certified organic. We have our own chemists. We do our own clinical trials. We're huge about transparency, and that's what sets us apart. We're actually the largest brick and mortar in the U.S., and then the second when it comes to websites and things of that sort. So we actually are partnering up with the Spencerport Community Wellness Program. The school actually reached out to us to do the community education to host adult classes after hours at the middle school. So it's actually going to be a 5-week, or it's a 10-week course, 5 classes, about an hour, hour and a half. We get to learn all different things about CBD, CBD 101, just the basics of what it is and how it helps us. We'll do like a yoga. We'll do a cooking class. We'll do an herb class. We'll do teas. And then we get into our book club, which is called The ABCs of CBD by Shira Adler, which is just a basic book that teaches you the most simplest terms and how CBD helps us, just broken down for my 10-year-old son can completely read it and understand it, to my 78, 80-year-old father-in-law. He can completely comprehend everything. It's not over anyone's head, that kind of thing.
We're speaking with Esmeralda Updegraph, and Esmeralda, you are what we call in the radio business a push-button interviewee, because all I have to do is introduce you, and you just I just have to sit here and listen to you. And you're so knowledgeable, and it's fun to listen to the story. So let's back up for just a minute, because we did a flyby in a couple of these points, and I just want to make sure people understand. Your CBD store that's a franchise, I think you mentioned.
Yeah, we just transitioned to a franchise. So if anyone wants to join, let me know.
Okay, so are you the franchisor? Are you the impresario behind your CBD store then?
Not for Spencerport, I am the owner of Spencerport. So there are a lot of, like I said, over 600 stores. My brother-in-law, Tim, has most of central New York, and he just bought the Buffalo area, which I ran the Buffalo area since the beginning, for 5 years now. So we're like enthralled into this, but Spencerport is my baby.
Got it. Well, congratulations. It's nothing like owning your own business. So tell me about, because I know I'm going to plead ignorant here, because I am, when it comes to CBD. What form is this stuff in, Esmeralda? Is it like is it an oil?
Yeah. So what's really great, we actually offer our product in a multitude of different formats. The best way to consume it is the oil. We call it a tincture. You do it sublingually. You drop it under your tongue for 60 to 90 seconds, so then your sublingual glands absorb it and distribute to your receptors. So it's like a CB1 and CB2 receptors, and it literally reads your body. With oil, it's very important to be consistent with it on a daily basis to get it fully acclimated into your system, just like any other vitamin or health supplement out there or any medicine a provider gives you. It would take about 2 weeks to fully get acclimated into the system, but that's one way is the oil tincture. And then my favorite is what we call the water soluble. It's super amazing. You do like a half a dropper to a dropper full in 2 ounces of water, and you drink it like a shot. How we created it, it becomes bioavailable. Just means it shoots faster through your system. So for me, that's what I use for like any anxiety or things like that. It's super fast acting.
Okay, so as far as the physical manifestation of this stuff, does it deal with inflammation? Does it help with that?
Yeah. So my mother actually, rheumatoid arthritis, she's actually had 3 knee replacements. One was a double, and she has used that amazingly for her inflammation throughout her body, just like to recover from the surgeries. I do have a lot of MMA fighters who use our product for recovery. A lot of golfers use our product too for focus. We have it in capsule form. We have it in gummy form. But the best way to consume it would be either the capsule form, the water soluble, or the oils, and then use everything else as an addition to supplement, because everyone's going to be a little bit different depending on your body and what it needs. So we're huge about low and slow, starting off at the lower milligrams, because a lot of people just think that you have to jump off to a high milligram right off the bat. Well, that's not the case. It's just like a vitamin. Your body's going to take what it needs and flushes the rest out.
So Esmeralda Updegraph is our guest here on Your Business Voice Business Backgrounder. Bob Savage here doing the honors for Sarah Lentini, who's not available for this week, but really interesting to hear about CBD. Now, Esmeralda, a lot of people have misconceptions about this product because, of course, the origin of it is in the cannabis plant, and that, of course, gives us marijuana. And there's a surprising number of folks who think that taking CBD gets you high. Which is not the case, right?
No. It's so we actually offer a product that's called a full spectrum or a broad spectrum product. So the broad spectrum, we've actually extracted it twice to ensure that it has 0 THC in there. And the bottles literally will say broad spectrum, and it means non-detectable, because we are huge about being compliant for what the FDA wants. So they want, instead of 0 THC, they want non-detectable. So we did that. And then we offer a full spectrum product, which contains less than 0.3% THC. The legal limit at the time and cannot cause psychoactivity in any way. It's just in there for absorption purposes. It just hits other receptors, but cannot make you any sort of psychoactivity in any way. But that's why we offer both full spectrum and broad spectrum. And then we also have the new line, which is the above and beyond line. And that is for someone who's looking for more relaxation, still not higher levels of THC, just 400 other minor cannabinoids that are super beneficial for us, that give us another experience. So we have something for everyone. With us, we do the hemp plant. So marijuana and hemp plant, they're related. They're cousins. So everyone thinks, with the marijuana plant, it's higher levels of THC, lower levels of CBD. With the industrial hemp plant, it's higher levels of cannabinoids and lower levels of THC. So we're able to get in there, extract. And what they're looking for, what's so important when you're looking for a product, you want to make sure the extraction process, you're looking for something that's called a supercritical CO2 extraction. All that means is a cold press. Otherwise, you're using alcohol, heat, butane. You're just adding chemicals and you're burning off benefits. And then all of our products also have QR codes on them. So we're huge about lab testing. We send you directly to our lab testing, and we even have it posted for everything on our website.
Very, very interesting. This seems like a huge growth industry, because wherever you go in any community, you look around and on storefronts and strip malls and wherever, you see these CBD outlets, but they're not all the same, right? I mean, it seems like some of them look, quite frankly, a little sketchy. And CBD is not necessarily CBD. I mean, it's not CBD as CBD as CBD. Your product's different.
Every product is completely different because the extraction process and how they make it is so important, how they grow it. We are the only USDA certified organic products out here. We are literally a soil to oil company. We grow, manufacture, produce. Like I said, we have our own chemists. We do our own clinical trials. We just did this huge link up with the Florida. Oh gosh, I can't believe that just left my mind. But it's a university in Florida. We're doing way more CBD cannabinoid research with them. This just came out 2 weeks ago, so it's super exciting with a forward-thinking company like ours. And we're actually just releasing a new product that will be out. And, I get super excited because it's so amazing, all the different things and how it's so beneficial to us. But it's called Trim, and it's actually a weight loss. Everyone's been asking since we opened, do we have a weight loss product? And we're just finally releasing that. I mean, we even have products for that time of the month, the menstrual cramps. My daughters, I give them, it's called Maxine and Morgan. It comes in a 15 milligram and 30 milligram, and that helps them so much. And now that we're back into school, I have a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old daughter, and so that's just going to help them along the way as well because it's going to calm their nerves. Like my kids use gummies. But I'm huge about always speaking to your provider, whether it's for your child, for you. Always keep that open lines of communication. What's really great is I've had the opportunity in these past 5 years to actually go in and educate providers on the endocannabinoid system, on CBD, on CBN. CBN is actually for sleep. CBG gives you a little bit more energy. So we have so many different products for some, even pet products. So the edibles, so all mammals benefit from the endocannabinoid system and cannabinoids. So it's just exciting. I urge people, please come into the store. We give free samples. We love educating people. That's our number one goal is getting an educated consumer so you know what you're putting into your body, into your family's bodies. For us, that's the most important thing.
Tell us, we talked a little bit earlier in the interview here about the course that's coming up now. You're partnering with Spencerport Schools. Is that what I understand for this course?
Yeah, which was super exciting. The Spencerport Schools ended up calling us for the health and wellness, the community class. It's called I want to get the correct name. It's the Spencerport Community events, education, after hours, adult events classes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they're hosted from 6:15 to 7:30. It's all at the middle school. The end. So we have 5 different classes. We have CBD 101. We're going to have cooking with CBD. We're going to have the yoga with CBD, the herbs and the different ways you can use the CBD tea. And then we're going to go into the book of CBD, the ABCs of CBD. So you can take the classes all individual, or you can take them all. I think they're each about $10, except the last one is $20. That's the book. And it's completely legal. It's all about health and wellness. And we know that Spencerport School District is totally about the health and wellness, and that's why they, reached out to us. And we're so excited to partner with them. Yeah.
So do they register?
It's a huge deal.
Yeah, it sounds great. Do they register through you or through the school or both?
So what you do is, if they'd like, they can register through us, but I'd prefer if everything just went through the schools. All you have to do is call the Spencerport School, and they will tell you exactly how to sign up. I know it doesn't go, the information doesn't go out for another 2 weeks.
Okay. All right. So, folks, you'll want to be watching for that. And Esmeralda, I tell you, it's so much fun to listen to you because of your enthusiasm. That's a fun part of interviewing you. And the other part is your name. Your name, Esmeralda Updegraph. That's so melodic, kind of. It's fun. So I want to thank you so much for being on Business Voice and telling us all about your CBD store in Spencerport, once upon a time my hometown, way back when I was really little. And it's such a pretty little canal-side community, and this is one more thing that it has to offer. So be sure to stop in at 409 South Union Street. That's Unit 2 in Spencerport. And be sure to ask for Esmeralda Updegraph because you'll have fun just saying her name. Esmeralda, thanks for being on the program today.
You're very welcome, and thank you guys so very much for having us. And if they do mention that they were on, that they heard the show, they get 15% off. So,
whoa! How about that?
Well, it's really great meeting you, Bob. Thank you so much, and thanks, Sarah, for me.
I'll certainly do that. Esmeralda, thanks for being on the program. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, more to come here on Your Business Voice on the WYSL stations.
WYSL Avon Rochester.
Funerals can be expensive. You may be surprised to learn that you can get Bartolomeo and Perotto Funeral Homes 5-star service at a price you can afford. They understand one price doesn't fit all and strive to ensure that your needs are met within your budget. Their family of funeral homes are a part of helping to achieve that goal. But above all else, they promise quality service. The details are taken care of so you can focus on what's important. Find out more by calling Bartolomeo and Perotto Funeral Home at 720-6000.
Care. It's more than a word. It's the heart of our mission and purpose for more than 25 years. Today, we serve 2.3 million members, partnering with top-quality providers and caring for communities across New York State. This is Fidelis Care. If you need health insurance or if your coverage is changing, Fidelis Care can help. Call 1-888-FIDELIS, TTY 711, or visit fideliscare.org.
What does it mean to drive a Honda True pre-owned vehicle by Ralph Honda? It means you'll drive a car that's passed a rigorous 182-point inspection by Honda certified technicians, backed by a powertrain warranty to give you peace of mind. For 3 generations, Ralph Honda.
The one media outlet you can count on. The voice of liberty. The WYSL stations.
Welcome back. You're listening to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce, sponsored by Bartolomeo and Perotto Funeral Home. I'm Sarah Lentini, your host, and also the president and CEO of the Greece Regional Chamber. And I'm delighted to welcome our next guest, Nicole Galetto. Welcome, Gina.
Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Great.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, we're delighted that you're on the show, and very happy that you're also a new Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce business member. And your business name, which I haven't mentioned yet, just sort of begs definition. OCD with GNG. Tell us, Gina, what is OCD with GNG?
So OCD, obviously, many people know is obsession compulsive disorder, which I have. But for my business, it's Organized, Customized, Declutter, and my initials are GNG, Gina Nicole Galletto.
Got it. So decluttering with Gina Nicole Galletto, and if you have the kind of OCD that makes you great at keeping things straight and neat and organized, then that's a bonus for anybody who's engaging you to help them, right?
Yeah, I actually look at organizing as a puzzle. It's, taking all the pieces, looking at the big picture first, like a picture in my head, and then sorting through all the pieces and categorizing them by shape, different belongings, and then putting it all together to create the masterpiece. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. So there's an awful lot of thought that's going into it on your end.
Yes. I don't know. I've been doing this for a very long time. Before I started the business, I was at my family member's house, my house, and I really love to create this masterpiece, and it seems to be very helpful to my clients. It's life-changing for a lot of them, and I love doing it, and it's helping others not only gives me a sense of responsibility, but it really gives meaning to my life.
Oh, yeah.
So and helping other people is really actually helping me as well. So it's all about giving back.
Funny how that works, isn't it? It's the give and receive thing. It really is true that the more you give, the more you receive. So you have not had the actual business part of this, even though you've been obviously this is almost just a way of being for you, but you haven't had the business for very long. When did you start it?
I began the business in October of 2020.
Okay, so well, right in the middle of the COVID pause, right?
Right. And so I started the business actually as a cleaning business, just because I didn't really understand the whole world of professional organization. So I started off with that, and I noticed many of my cleaning clients, I wasn't able to clean their house without organizing first. Mm-hmm. And so it was taking me a very long time to clean houses because there was things all over the place. And in order to properly clean, I had to move these things and organize them. And I actually partnered up with a senior citizen real estate specialist. She's a real estate agent for other. Her name is Paula Heberling, and she has helped me tremendously. She's kind of been a mentor, and she actually got me into the whole move management with senior citizens, and it's a specialty move management. So what it is we start with going through everybody's belongings and, seeing if they're downsizing, especially, seeing what they can keep, what they can't keep, trying to either sell it, donate it, and then we do the organized packing. And with the packing, we oversee the move and Paula obviously does all the real estate end, but get the dimensions of the new place and oversee the move and then unpack and do the setup for them.
That's a huge amount of work. Wow. That's that takes is the client there with you helping to figure out what you get to what is getting kept and what's being tossed, what's being donated, or do you take a first cut, or how does that work?
We do the free consultation, and what we do is kind of go through their belongings in the consultation, take photos, and I actually have a client right now that I've met with probably 4 times, and he left for California, so for the winter. And so what I'm doing is going in there. He's already told me what he wants to keep, what he wants to sell, and then I'm just packing up the house. And when he gets back, putting the house on the market, and everything's done for him. Wow. He doesn't have to worry.
That's great. Yeah, you're really doing it's really making it as easy as possible for the customer. It's not like your client has to be there. So that's awesome. So you've got a big responsibility, and obviously you take it very seriously. And you talked about how that's also giving meaning to your life. What were you doing before this? How'd you get involved in this? What made you want to start this business, and how'd you get involved in this?
So I have been a flight attendant for the last 15 years. And I actually flew all through 2020 during COVID, and I saw a lot of despair, fear. It was, overwhelming for a lot of people, and for me as well. I took a break in October just because I needed one from flying, and being a flight attendant, even before COVID, when I started 15 years ago, we really helped people. There wasn't all these electronics, people just with their headphones on, and, it gave me a purpose, like I said, and it hasn't been like that in a long time. It's more like people come on, they get their stuff, they leave. So I was looking to change careers and do something, and this business just it worked really hard, and it all came together.
Yeah, And it sounds like it taps into something that's just a natural talent of yours, a natural ability. I mean, it's almost like supernatural. It sounds like your ability to organize. I'm, picturing practically a Rubik's Cube process in front of you. So, and senior or older adults, your primary market. I mean, it makes sense. There are a lot of people once they hit a certain age that do want to downsize, or maybe they need to move for other reasons. And you're there to really help them with what can be kind of an overwhelming process, even at a younger age, but becomes really overwhelming at an older age. So is that the predominance of your client base? And it sounds like that's what you're kind of partnered up to do.
Well, I have I have different kinds of clients. I do have clients that I do work with side by side. They have just collected a lot of things over the years, and I'm actually looking into finding a therapist that specializes in hoarders as just another resource for them.
Wow.
But the process there is really trying to coach them through the maintaining of the organization, just because, I don't want to go in there and clear everything out, and then right. It's like kind of enabling them to fill it all back up.
Yep.
So I work closely with them, and then I do have clients who just don't want to, they have no interest in organizing. It's kind of like I have no interest in doing my taxes, and so I have somebody else do them.
Right, and you're happy to pay somebody to do it. Yep.
And I love that part. It's more of the design, decorate. They just say, go ahead, and it's really fun. And then I do work with senior citizens. It's not all of them are moving, obviously, but it's hard. A lot of times, hard to let go of things.
Right.
It's definitely an emotional connection. So I do work closely with them, and I do work with veterans. So I've seen throughout the year that a lot of veterans cannot physically or mentally do the work, and they do offer a discount for veterans, and I do love working with them. I have this business because I have the freedom to have it.
Good point.
So I love giving back to them as well.
That's great. And before I let you go, two things. One is, I think we've got a ribbon cutting, a celebration, because you're kind of coming up on an anniversary, right? So don't we have an event coming up at the Grease Chamber to celebrate with you?
Yes, we do. So grateful to say the Grease Chamber is hosting a ribbon cutting event. The event is really for my clients and for the veterans. It is November 10th at 9:30 a.m., and it's at the Grease Chamber of Commerce on Ridge Road. I'm very excited. We're teamed up with the Grease American Legion. Once the invite goes out, you can actually donate right on the invite or register right on the Grease Regional Chamber of Commerce. And we will have the Boy Scouts of America, a few of them saluting the veterans.
That's awesome. Yeah, people can go to greasechamber.org to check it out and to register. Maybe some people even want to join us. And we're at 2402 West Ridge Road in Greece, in the town of Greece. And then last thing, probably the most important thing, if somebody listening, and you've made it clear you work certainly with older adults, but you work with all sorts of clients of all kinds of ages and types, and how would somebody reach you? How does somebody get in touch with you?
So my business phone number is 585-340-7044. My email is Gina, Gina, .ocd@yahoo.com, and then my website is OCD with GNG, one word, .com.
OCD with GNG.com. Gina Nicole Galetto of OCD with GNG. It's been a pleasure talking with you, and we hope that you come back and give us an update real soon on Business Voice.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
You're very welcome. All right, don't go away. We're going to be right back with my next guest. Don't flip that dial.
Every life has a story. Bartolomeo and Perotto Funeral Home takes pride in helping families navigate the path to telling their loved one's unique story. It's difficult to avoid sadness at a time of loss, but sharing stories, pictures, and personal items can lead to a path of healing as you remember how special they were. Bartolomeo and Perotto certified celebrants help to create a meaningful celebration. If you are in need or want to learn more, contact Bartolomeo and Perotto Funeral Home at 720-6000.
Since 1983, Herco Computers is Rochester's first and most experienced custom computer system builder. Herco Computers is proud to be working with many of our original customers, including the Greece Chamber of Commerce. Whether you need a custom business PC, gaming system, or network server, Herco Computers can build you a custom computer system that exceeds your expectations. Herco Computers also offers complete IT support for your business. We can configure your business network, provide security from viruses and ransomware to keep your business or medical office running the way it should be. Herco Computers is also a full-service provider of network wiring, Wi-Fi, and network camera systems. Need to upgrade from Windows 7? Give Herco Computers a call at 227-1270 to discuss your options to get your business upgraded to Windows 10. Herco Computers is proudly locally owned and operated since 1983. Call us at 227-1270 and schedule your Herco Computers free IT evaluation. Herco Computers, 227-1270.
Need help with health insurance? The Greece Regional Chamber provides assistance with health insurance for businesses, nonprofits, families, and individuals throughout our region. We pride ourselves on the personalized service that we provide for our clients. Let us help you find health insurance plans that fit your needs and navigate the paperwork. Greece Chamber Benefit Partners, located at 2402 Westridge Road in Rochester, New York, offers a broad range of medical insurance plans for businesses, nonprofits, individuals, and families throughout the greater Rochester Finger Lakes region, working with insurance companies including Excellus Blue Cross Blue Shield, Univera, and MVP Healthcare. We can also help you access insurance plans through the New York State of Health, the official health plan marketplace. Again, you do not need to live or work in Greece to utilize our brokerage services. We serve the greater Rochester Finger Lakes region of New York State. Visit greecechamber.org to sign up for one of our free health insurance information sessions or schedule an appointment with one of our licensed brokers. Call 585-227-7272. 585-227-7272.
Safeguarding your freedoms and your future. The WYSL stations.
And welcome back. You're listening to Business Voice, a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce, sponsored by Bartolomeo and Perotto Funeral Home. I'm Sarah Lentini, your host, and also the president and CEO of the Greece Regional Chamber. And I'm here with our next guest, Chris Falwell, who is the executive director of Center for Hope. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you for having me, Sarah.
Oh, yeah. Delighted to have you. And Center for Hope is also a relatively new member of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce. So I'm excited about learning more about you. This interview is going to be educational for me as well as our listeners. So, Chris, tell us about Center for Hope. It's a nonprofit, correct? What kinds of things does it do?
Yeah, Center for Hope, about 10 years ago at a Hope Church in Greece out on Vintage Road, they began collecting food in just a janitorial closet right there, and for those in need, and the closet wasn't in much use, and Mark and Barb Lambrick are amazing individuals out there who started collecting the food, and over the course of 10 years, they just began reaching so many individuals that a vision campaign began to construct a beautiful building that you can now see on Vintage Road as you pass down that way in the town of Greece, and we have a food pantry where we service a lot of people in the town of Greece, and I can get more into those numbers if you find that interesting. I have that written down here. And we now offer employment services. We offer financial counseling, and what that means is for individuals that feel they're grateful for the food they're receiving, but they really need more knowledge on building a budget, spending plan, even answering questions around retirement plan and savings. We have teams of individuals that do that. We also have individuals that, for those who have maybe lost a job, or they're looking to transition in their job, or they're just looking to rebuild a resume, we offer those services. And Sarah, we're currently in negotiations because the dream is that we would like to offer full primary medical care as an organization as well. So that's one of my top priorities right now, to be researching that and connecting with other organizations, nonprofits in the country that are doing that well.
That's quite a wonderful vision, and already quite a great menu of services. So it sounds as though you're focusing on helping people in need. So is there are there guidelines in terms of economic need, household income that you guys use that people should be aware of? How do you determine who should be on the list for services?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, right now, on average, we're servicing 909 individuals a month, and that's an average of 372 families a month.
Wow.
On average in the town of Greece are coming through. And currently, what we ask, our focus right now, the phrase that we use is we want to unleash compassion on the town of Greece. So right now, what we have the capacity to do is we have the capacity to help those in the town of Greece. So when an individual sets up an appointment, and if a family is in great need, they can also walk in during when we're open, or an appointment can be scheduled. When they come in, we do request that they bring some form of identification. A lot of times it's an RG&E bill showing that they live within the town of Greece, and they walk out with a couple $100 in food. It's a grocery cart full of food, and during that time we have chaplains on site that are available to. We do not force this by any means, but if a family's there and they just like somebody to pray for them, we have chaplains on site that will say, "Well, let me pray for you." If people aren't looking for that, again, we don't force it.
Right.
But yes, within the food pantry, as of right now, to make sure we can really continue to reach into the town of Greece, we will explain to our guests the identification they bring in to make sure we can confirm that.
Got it. And it sounds as though you're really focusing on help. You're focusing on being able to help a family as quickly and as fully as possible. And it doesn't sound like you're bureaucratic at all. If somebody can walk in for an appointment and walk out with, a grocery cart full of food, that's pretty amazing. That's probably faster than most government-sponsored programs where there's perhaps a little bit more red tape. Does that sound about right? I mean, am I understanding this correctly?
Yes, and the objective of offering the employment and financial counseling is we really want families to feel that we can help them get up on their feet, that let us provide you with high-quality groceries, but also let us help you rewrite your resume. Let us help you find the courage to re-engage the workforce, or if you've been unemployed for a while, the gentleman who runs that part of our organization has his own employment counseling business, and he's very connected and offers great insight. So we really want families to feel, yes, we will provide you with these groceries, but we want to help you feel that you can succeed in your finances. And eventually, we want to, because we know that medical care is an extreme burden to individuals financially, that it's really a picture of how can we help a family feel that they can get up on their feet and be excited about their future.
Right. And I heard you mention just, I know there are other aspects and not just food, but food is, of course, a primary need. And the thing that you can provide almost immediately. But I heard you say high-quality food. What kind of food do you provide families?
Yeah, it's really an elaborate system. Again, as I referenced, Mark and Barb Lambert, just amazing people at Hope Church. They have built and designed a system with a group of what we call team leaders that, based on your family size, you receive different quantities of food. So if you come in with a large family, you're going to get more food than necessarily a family might be a bit smaller. So we want to make sure that people feel that when they get home that they have enough. And we have poultry. There's frozen meats. We have, through people's generous donations, we have a large freezer where Wegmans and Costco will donate these items. We're able to freeze them.
Wow.
So, just when you walk through and you see the items and the juices, and then occasionally we receive real generous donations where we can even offer things that are a bit more fun, like certain types of sauces that a family might enjoy, cereals that their kids would be excited about. And these donations, and our primary partnership is the Food Link. But then there's been other donations that come in through Wegmans, through Costco out in Greece that have been so so generous to the Center for Hope. So we're not just filling a grocery cart. It's the type of food that when individuals get home, they'll be proud.
Right.
This is high-quality food, yes.
Yeah, well, meat especially, because, you often think of a food pantry or you think of a, food drive. You think of cans, and certainly cans are important. Canned food is going to last quite a while, and, that can be a mainstay in a pantry. But this is a great variety of food, and meats are obviously expensive but also essential. So what a wonderful image. Thank you for giving us a little bit of a picture. And then assistance with employment and in seeking employment is also so important. We think that's just wonderful. And then, your vision to start playing a major role in helping with affording medical care and getting medical care is phenomenal. Now, we don't have a ton of time left, but tell us, if you will, what you've got, especially with this great vision, what sorts of things are coming up and whether you're, looking to intersect with either the public or a segment of the public. I know you've got wonderful partners. You've already mentioned Food Link and Wegmans and Costco, I think you said. So, and obviously there are individuals can give as well. So tell us how we can connect with you and what listeners might want to know about sort of how they can help with this vision.
Yes, thank you, Sarah. The primary thing is for individuals to go to our website, and from that point, you'll really get a picture of what we do, and you can also request an appointment and contact us. For those hearing my voice, if you have family members or those that who are in need, who live within the town of Greece, we want to help, and you can go to centerforhopegreece.org, and I just want to emphasize it's the number 4, centerforhopegreece.org. You can read about the services. We're always looking for volunteers. We're in need because of the amount of people coming in, the amount of guests. There's an opportunity to donate on that site. We are raising funds to ensure that we can just have a great year next year and continue to do this work. We also have events coming up where we're going to be offering tours to those in the community and to business leaders, especially in the town of Greece, that just want to see the great work happening. So the best thing I can say is if people go to centerforhopegreece.org, you're going to get a really nice snapshot. You can read our story. You can learn a little bit about me. You can reach out to me. And what a privilege it is to be doing the work that we're doing.
Oh, it sounds wonderful. It sounds very meaningful, and we're so grateful to you and everybody at Center for Hope for what you're doing. Chris Falwell, Executive Director, Center for Hope, thank you so much for joining us here today on Business Voice.
Thank you, Sarah.
It's been a pleasure. All right, that just about does it for us here today on Business Voice. Business Voice is a program of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce, sponsored by Bartolomeo and Perotto Funeral Home, and I'm Sarah Lentini, your host and the president and CEO of the Greece Regional Chamber. And I want to give a special thanks to my co-host for today's show, Bob Savage, the inimitable Bob Savage, who is, of course, also the station owner right here at WYSL. He did a great job of helping me out and conducted 2 of today's interviews. And I also want to thank all of our guests and thank all of you for joining us. Check us out on the web at greecechamber.org. That's greecechamber.org, O-R-G. And until next time, be well.
You've been listening to Business Voice. The Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce serves businesses, nonprofits, and individuals throughout the region, focusing on promoting economic and community development and serving as the voice for business. The Chamber offers networking, education, advocacy, community events, and business services. It serves as an important platform for business leaders and citizens to come together in support of common goals.